Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to a recap of night number 22 of Big Brother Season 25. It's eviction night. Not only is it eviction night, we're going to have an HOH competition with the pressure cooker, an iconic event. I expect it to be on feeds. It better be on the live feeds after the live TV episode. So that's going to be great. But we've got to talk about what happened overnight as well. And we still have to figure out which of these two guys are going home this evening. Hassam and Cameron are on the block. Someone's going home tonight. We assume so anyway. And I mentioned yesterday that Hassam was pitching to stay, but that no one was buying it. It seemed like a lock that he was heading home. Well, we need to talk about that a little bit. I still think that's the case. But there were certainly more. Would you expect anything except more flipping back and forth all night long? Well, we had that last night, so we're going to talk about it. Let's get right into it because there were a lot of conversations. They went to bed early again, and yet there's still a lot of conversations. All right, Tuesday night, so one night previous, Jared had reported that Cameron had said that he wanted to put up Felicia and Cirie on the block if he got HOH this week. That certainly caught the attention of Cirie and Felicia and Izzy as well. And I think that's led to some of this thinking that, well, maybe we could grab Hassam, keep him, and get out Cameron instead. So there were certainly discussions that were had. Let's talk about everything that took place. First, before Hassam and his conversations, and he had a few, although most of the conversations were about him, not with him. But before that happened, we have America. Looks like she could still be in trouble. Jag, Felicia, Cirie, Matt, and Blue. So people from both sides, all talking about America being shady, that none of them can trust her. Jag saying she's just trying to get information from me. So America's in trouble. It really seems like regardless of what happens tonight, and to some degree, regardless of who wins HOH, it sure seems like America and Cameron and Red could be the targets next week unless one of those three win HOH. Those three are certainly at the bottom of the house right now. All right, we have a new final two announced. We don't have enough alliances already. Let's just add in some final twos and such as well. Now, this final two is a little unexpected because it consists of Felicia and Bowie Jane. You don't see those two making a final two, right? But they've got a final two. Felicia was talking to Bowie and mentioned that she thought Cirie and Izzy were a duo. She's talking about a lot of people that she felt were kind of duoed up with each other. She mentioned Cirie and Felicia as one. And as a result, she kind of says, so you want to be a final two, Bowie? They agreed to a final two. Felicia also said, look, I've already talked to Cirie about it. We'd love to make it a final three. You and me, final two, but we'll bring Cirie in as well and have a final three. Well, of course, Bowie Jane's like, yeah, sure. Why not? I'd love to play the game of Big Brother at some point. So they've agreed to that. Now, they've talked, Cirie and Felicia, they've talked a lot about how they don't really trust Bowie Jane. So is this a legitimate final two? I don't think so. I think it could just be Felicia trying to keep Bowie close to get information, make sure she feels aligned with their side. We had more conversations later where they're worried about Bowie Jane working on the other side. So I think this is just Felicia trying to play and get some people attached. It could be that Felicia is starting to fear that she's the odd woman out when you look at Izzy and Cirie, and maybe she is trying to make some extra relationships just in case. But I kind of think this is just Felicia trying to play just a little harder, as so many people in this house are doing right now. All right, we've got Corey and Jared voicing what a lot of us viewers have been saying over the last couple of days, that they are just tired about all these alliances, that they aren't doing anything, that almost everyone knows about almost every alliance anyway. So what's the point of doing these things? It's irritating. It's causing all kinds of confusion. Hey, tell me about it. Corey and Jared, they seem strategically to Corey, Jared, and Nicole in a lot of ways. These three seem to be the ones that are just wanting to cut through all the fluff and realize what's actually happening and what needs to happen in this game. The others so busy running around going crazy, but these three seem to be paying attention. So Corey and Jared saying, this is crazy. All these alliances, there's no need for them. It's just creating issues. They also are talking about Izzy. They're saying, look, Izzy is not nearly as good at this game as she thinks she is. She's doing way too much. But Corey and Jared are both saying, but she's kind of benefiting us right now. Let's not stop her. Let her get all the heat, get all the attention, do all this stuff. We'll just sit back for now. And she's not the great player, but she's certainly getting the attention instead. So we're good with that. All right. We've got Hassam, who he spent a lot of time talking to people, just as he has for the last few days, saying anyone who saves me, 100% loyalty. I didn't mean anything. I was just trying to be loyal to the alliance, and here y'all are stabbing me in the back. But Hassam did meet with Cirie and Felicia and Izzy in the HOH room. Again, promised eternal loyalty if they'll just save him. Now, earlier, he told Cirie that he had been told that he'd been led to believe that Cirie and Izzy were behind the backdoor plan to get him out. But now he's really kind of throwing Cameron under the bus, talking about no one trusts Cameron. Cameron can't be trusted, and kind of suggesting that he now, and more than suggesting, he said a little bit later in the evening, that he thinks Cameron was the one behind the backdoor plan to get him out. Yeah, it wasn't you and Izzy, Cirie. I realize now it was Cameron kind of deal. This is wrong. Cirie and Izzy were certainly behind it, but it does make Cirie and Izzy feel a little better, I think, or will make them feel better, that there wouldn't be retaliation from Hassam by him saying this. Now, I'm not sure if Hassam really believes this, or he's just saying it because he's trying to smooth things over with Cirie and Izzy and wanting them to think that he won't come after him. I tend to think that's it, but he said, yeah, I know it's Cameron behind all of this. It's not y'all. I'm still good with y'all. So don't be worried about that, Cirie. So they did mention that. At the end of the conversation, they've all pretty much agreed to save him. Cirie and Felicia and Izzy, they're all pretty much saying, yeah, if we do this, we're good. You're going to watch out for us to the very end. Oh, yeah. It seems like they're on board to go ahead and save him at this point in time. It was funny. After they got done, Izzy immediately jumps up and says, he only said right once. The whole conversation, he only said right. And she says, that's his tell. When he's uncomfortable, when he's not being sincere, he throws out right after every sentence, which he says right a lot. It can be a little irritating listening to it. But she says the fact that he only said it once, that's saying he was sincere about this. He's telling the truth. He is going to support us and all that. If that's true, then props to Izzy for recognizing it. She ought to be playing some poker or something. But I don't know if that's actually a tell of sincerity or not. I still think Hassam goes after him if he gets the opportunity. But she's convinced that because of his speech patterns, that he's sincere and they really can trust him and bring him on board at this point in time. Maybe not. All right, we got Izzy talking to Corey. She discussed the idea of keeping Hassam. Corey immediately rejects it. He says, look, first of all, Hassam's going to be out for revenge. I don't care what you say. Once you target someone like this, things are never going to be the same. And he can say whatever, but things will never be the same, Izzy. So he's worried about that. He says there's no way we can keep Hassam under control. He's going to still try to run everything. That's just the way he is. And he's saying, and look, how are we going to get him out of the house with these 128 different alliances in this house? How are we going to get enough votes to get him out and talk to enough people and not disrupt all of these alliances and connections and relationships? He said, it can't be done. You're going to just upend the entire house if you try to do that, and you're going to destroy everything. I think he's absolutely right. Izzy, though, is arguing that, saying, look, keeping someone like Hassam here means there's a huge target on our side. If this other side goes after us, they're going to go after Hassam. He's a protection for us. Why wouldn't we want that protection if he's going to be fighting for us? Well, that's a big question. Will he really be fighting for you? Corey is saying, look, it will be easier to vote out Hassam tonight. Then we just go for red next week and we start working the other side's numbers down that way. Why make it fancy? Let's just get them out. We know who would get out next week. It's all pretty cut and dried. Corey eventually walks into the HOH room by himself, looks up at the cameras, and basically just says, this new plan doesn't make any sense. What are they doing? Why are they trying to do this? It's just crazy. Eventually, Izzy comes in, joins the conversation. She continues to try to pitch him on it. He continues to say, it just doesn't make sense, Izzy. Eventually, the conversation turns to America and some some considerations about whether they can trust America, bring her into an alliance or not. And so they have a little talk. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. All right, we had the TV episode. We saw the veto competition and the veto ceremony. The competition was fun. My BB comic was over in the corner. That was kind of cool to see, but I like this competition. It was pretty cool. Poor Felicia. Yeah, I don't care how old you are. You ought to do a little better than she did, but Felicia had a hard time with this competition. But props to Jag for winning it. It was fun to watch. We got to see the veto ceremony. We got to see Hassam as the world tumbled down around him when he was backdoored. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get to see more of the immediate aftermath. I'd heard he's staring daggers at people and having meetings with Izzy, and we didn't get to see any of that. Maybe we'll see it later, maybe not, but we did get to see that. All right. Right after the episode, I think even during the episode, probably, we still had the live feeds on. We had Izzy pitching. Oh, Izzy was involved last night, wasn't she? We've got Izzy pitching to Nicole the idea of keeping Hassam. Nicole, I guess she seems okay with it. She says, I'm more receptive to that than I was to keeping Riley last week. So she's saying, yeah, maybe I can be convinced. We'll see. Izzy is saying, look, here's the issue. America is with the boys. We know that Bowie is with Red and Cameron. And suddenly, as Izzy's starting to talk about these different people, these different pieces, she is suddenly worried that the other side could consolidate, and the other side being Jag and Cameron and Red and Matt and Bowie and Blue and America, and they could consolidate. They could actually have the votes to go after Izzy and Surrey and Felicia and all of her side of the house. So now she's worried about all of these pulling together. A little bit, Corey keeps saying that's not the case. It's not going to happen, but she's worried about that. We've got Izzy and Nicole and Felicia are now talking to Corey, and they're telling Corey that the six needs to meet later. The six, yet another alliance, and we'll talk about that. But they've got the six that needs to meet later, and they're voicing to Corey this concern that Izzy just voiced to Nicole about the other side working together. And Corey says, look, first of all, they aren't working together. They're just not working together. He's saying America has no relationship with Cameron, I think, on here. The other side is going for Jag and Blue. He's saying, look, here's the deal. You're just taking everyone that we're working with, our side, and you're taking everyone else and just assuming they must be working together, and therefore they're the opposition. He said, that's not the case. They don't get along with each other. They're not working together. You just have to trust me on this. And he's trying to convince Izzy, and I'm not sure it's really working or not. All right, there is talk about whether to bring America into their alliance of six, yet another alliance, and whether they'll have that happen. Izzy is saying no at first, but Felicia says she'd like to do so. Corey is saying he trusts her. I think you would hope he did. He trusts her as much as he hangs out with her. So they're talking about a group of six, maybe making a group of seven. So let's talk about this group, this alliance of six. It consists of Izzy, Sari, Felicia, Jared. So we got those four, and then Corey and Nicole. Is that the Bye Bye Bees plus Corey and Jared? Maybe so, or I can't keep track of it anymore. But anyway, Izzy, Sari, Felicia, Jared, Corey, and Nicole. Izzy has come up with the name of them for the name would be For Real, For Real. I'm not saying that for the rest of the season. So this alliance is either better be short-lived, or I'm coming up with my own nickname for them. But the For Real Alliance, again, just because there's so many out there, I'll say it one more time. Izzy, Sari, Felicia, Jared, Corey, and Nicole. So six people, for real. Later, Izzy decides that, okay, let's bring in America. Felicia wants it. Corey seems like it's okay with it. We'll bring in America, so we'll make it now the seventh member. And then she tells Nicole, says, and here's the thing. Once Cameron and Red are gone, Bowie's gonna be all alone. So we'll bring her in as number 8. And Blue, Jared's already over here. We could probably bring Blue in as well. Let's make Blue number 9. So once they get down to 11 people, they're gonna have an alliance of 9 people for real. Who's left? You don't need an alliance of 9 to start the game. You certainly don't need an alliance of 9 once you make it to the jury phase. But Izzy's thinking ahead. She doesn't want to have she wants every possible number in the house. She wants a unanimous, alliance, I guess. So yeah, she's got it worked up to number 9, but for right now, 6. They want to add America, make it 7, just so there's no doubt that they have the votes. Suddenly, Nicole leaves, I think, after this point. Izzy is alone in the HOH room, and she's decided that, Hassam has to go after all. Forget all the stuff I said earlier. She says, yeah, I know Hassam. I know he has to go at this point in time. So she suddenly had a revelation, I guess. She goes to Jared. She goes to Corey. I think they're together, and says the flip is off. We're not going to do it. She just decided on her own. She says the flip is off because if we were to keep Hassam in the house, send out Cameron, I'm pretty sure I would be Hassam's next target. I guess she's decided maybe Hassam's not quite as trustworthy as she originally thought maybe would be the case. So is a flip off? Well, maybe not. It's still early in the evening. All right, we've got Matt and America talking real quick. I just mentioned this because Matt hadn't said a lot this evening. America thinks that she and Blue are both in danger. Yeah, they're both on the bottom. Matt's saying, I think I'm okay. I feel like everyone's fighting for me. They want me on their side. So for right now, I'm okay. America doesn't have that same comfort feeling herself. She knows she and Blue both could be in danger at this point in time. All right. We've got Izzy and Sari and Nicole and Corey talking. Again, a little paranoia kicking in here. Izzy is worried that Jag and Blue won't actually target Cameron and Red like they said they would, and that Red and Cameron won't actually target Jag and Blue like they said they were. She's still worried that these 4 or the whole other side's going to come together, and that they're just saying this to them. They're trying to make it look like they're not together by talking about targeting each other within the other side, but really that's not going to be the case. Corey yet again is saying, look, I am just telling you, they're not together. At one point he says, all the guys, they're only hanging around with America because they think she's pretty, they think she's attractive, and they like hanging out with her. There's no game stuff going on here. Don't assume that they're all working together. So he's saying it's still kind of falling on deaf ears to some degree, I think. We do have Felicia and Jag talking, still considering keeping Hassam in the house because they're thinking that he could be a number that they might need. I just can't get it figured out. All right, we've got Nicole and Izzy and Sari still also talking about keeping Hassam. Izzy is saying, look, here's the thing. If we didn't she just a little while ago say he has to go, but now it's flipped back again. Izzy saying, look, if we keep Hassam, then we have 7 people and they only have 6. Why would we not do that? Nicole is saying, yeah, I thought about it. I really want to boot Hassam. I think this other, just get rid of Hassam. Sari is finally saying, look, I get it, Izzy. The numbers would be great and all that, but we have to assume that he would work with us. She said, I just don't know that we can truly trust Hassam after everything that has happened this week. I think we just need to go ahead and boot him. So fireworks for Sari for finally seeing the light, for now at least. She's saying, I understand all your points, Izzy. They're not wrong, but we can't trust him. He needs to go. What an evening. Meanwhile, we've got Blue and Jared getting away from the game talk a little bit. Doing a little hanky-panky under their favorite blankets. So they're taking a break from the paranoia and the game talk and all of that. All right, we've got Corey and America talking. Corey is saying, look, everyone assumes that we're paired up, that we're linked up with each other. Instead of just continuing to deny it, he says, why don't we just own it? Just say, yeah, that's the case. And he said, we'll use that to our advantage. When you're talking to people, say, I can bring in Corey to work with me and we'll give you numbers. I'll say the same thing to my people. We can make it work for each other, America. He does tell America that he feels tightest probably with her and Jared and Blue. That's his group. Is that really the case? I don't think so. As much as Corey's kind of this low-key, flirty kind of thing with America, I really think it's more with Sari and Izzy and Felicia and Jared, and especially Jared, that he's feeling more comfortable. He's just kind of stringing America along a little bit. But he's telling her probably what she wants to hear, that, you and Jared and Blue, that's our team. Us four showmancy kind of people. That's who I'm comfortable with. We'll see. All right. Later, we got America talking to Felicia, Izzy, and Sari. America trying to do a little damage control as well. She, again, remember, she said she knew she was in trouble. So America's up talking to the three of them, trying to see what she can do to fix things up. Felicia, she pulls no punches. She says, America, the house thinks you're flaky. We just don't know if we can trust you, that you're playing both sides and all of that. And America said, no, that's not the case. And Felicia said, well, if you show us something differently, if you do turn on us, you're the first out of here, just so you know. And America said, I get it. No, I'm not going to turn. I know anything at all. America's trying to distance herself from the other side. She's saying, I don't talk game to Cameron at all, which is true. She tells Corey later, she says, I can't stand him. I don't like Cameron. I don't, nothing about him I want to work with. So she's being honest when she talks to Felicia, says, I don't talk game to Cameron. She says that Blue and I, we had similar backgrounds. So maybe we were tight that first week, but that's not necessarily the case anymore. We've distanced ourselves a little bit as well. She is telling him the same thing that Corey said. There's no six. I'm not working with Cameron. I'm not working with these guys. We're all kind of doing our own thing. We aren't working as a group. So she's saying that as well. After she leaves, then Felicia and Izzy and Sari are talking. They seem to be willing to bring her into this group of six, make it a group of seven, because they said, she is working with Corey, and we do trust Corey. So if he's vouching for her, and it seems like she's sincere in everything that she said, so okay, she becomes the seventh member of For Real, For Real. So at one point, Corey, I think he was in a diary room. He came out and said, geez, I go into the diary room, I come out, and America's in an alliance. So what an evening. So we've got that. We've got Have-Nots over at midnight. Red cooked up all kinds of stuff. So they all celebrated, as you always do, having Have-Nots over for the week. A couple of more conversations. Corey talking to Felicia, just responding back to the fact that America came to him and said, I'm in an alliance. I'm in an alliance. Corey's telling Felicia, saying, she is so happy to be in this alliance. So yes, she's good. She's going to certainly be with us, Felicia. Corey, a little bit later, talks to the cameras, his little soliloquy about everything that happened. He's still amazed that they were considering keeping Hassam. Yeah, join the crowd, Corey. He's amazed that they were doing that. Corey's okay with this new group of seven and the members of it. The one person that he has a little concern with is Felicia, and I'm not really sure why her specifically, if he thinks that she's a little bit, I don't know, that she's not as controllable or convincible. I'm not sure, but he does say he's a little worried about Felicia, but for now it's fine. He thinks that Cameron is good for his game. He wants to keep him for now. I think it's just a matter of keeping a target over there as well. So he's not in a huge hurry to get rid of Cameron. Obviously, he wants Hassam gone. Saying, we'll keep Cameron for a little bit. Wondering how long he can keep Jag around. These guys aren't tight, but I think he figures he's probably safe with Jag for a while. So just not in a huge hurry to get rid of him, but wondering how long he can keep him. Thinking about Blue and Bowie and Matt and saying, none of these three really help my game much. They're just kind of out there. So if someone has to go, whatever. They aren't helping me at all. He is talking about his relationship with Izzy and Sari, and wondering if he can trust them. So again, I feel like he's tightest with them, but he's got to see the connections. He reads the game so well. He's got to see how tight those are and know that he's probably not a final two, final three for anyone in that group. So he's wondering a little bit how long he can trust them as well. He's talking about his relationship, his conversations with America. He's a little worried that he screwed it up with her, that he's not quite handled the conversations well, that she may not trust him. He's saying, Izzy and Sari, Jared, I feel like I'm doing a great job managing and doing what I need to do. He said, with America, I just feel like I'm a 10-year-old boy when I talk to her. And as a result, he doesn't think he's done nearly as well. So he's a little bit worried about that. I tell you, Corey will be friendly with America and watch out for her. But when she needs to go, I don't think he'll have any issue cutting her loose, at least for now. All right. With that being said, everyone in bed by, 1:30 or so. They know there's an HOH coming up. So everyone's trying to get a little sleep, get ready for it, which is a good thing because it's not just any HOH. It's a pressure cooker. Could last for, hopefully will last for hours and hours and hours, and it better all be on the live feeds. It's going to be a fun evening watching that. So predictions, Hassam goes home. Cameron, red and blue are the targets for the following week, unless one of those wins HOH. We'll see. It's going to be a great HOH competition, and we start all over again with a whole nother week, and I will have 50 different alliances and 20 different flips next week as well in the first 24 hours. So, guys, y'all have a fantastic Thursday. Get ready for tonight. It's going to be glorious. Until then, until tomorrow, when I'll be back for another round of recaps, y'all have a great Thursday. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.